Hi there, welcome to BoxPred. Andre Ward against Arthur Abraham. The fight is happening on May the 14th as part of the Super 6 tournament. It's a semi-final matchup, and it's also for the WBA World Super Middleweight title. My prediction for this fight is a victory for Andre Ward by wide decision. Take a quick look at the records. Andre Ward is unbeaten, 23 victories, no losses, no draws, around a 56% knockout ratio. Arthur Abraham, 32 victories, 2 losses, no draws, around a 76% knockout ratio. Just going to talk about Arthur Abraham first of all. Coming into this tournament, he was unbeaten, and I personally thought he was one of the favourites to actually win this competition, this tournament. And of course, he's still in the tournament. So I'm not going to say he doesn't have a chance because he obviously does. But I'm just going to outline why I think Andre Ward defeats him by a wide decision here. In his first fight of the tournament, Arthur Abraham defeated Jermaine Taylor. He knocked him out late on and just continued to show that he has great power and he has sort of a very tight defensive shell with his hands up here, and Taylor just couldn't get at him. His punches kept bouncing off the gloves, and he had no stamina, Taylor, as we all know now, and Abraham just used his power. Unfortunately, Arthur Abraham then went to the US to fight against Andre Dirrell, and Andre Dirrell began the blueprint for how to beat Arthur Abraham. I do believe that he was winning the fight on points, coming late into the fight, Dirrell, and then Arthur Abraham was disqualified for hitting him while he was down. Then Arthur Abraham went on to face Carl Froch. Now, it's okay, you get disqualified. It doesn't really feel like a loss, I guess, because you didn't exactly lose by boxing means. You lost because you did something stupid and you got disqualified. However, Carl Froch completed and finished what Andre Dirrell began. And it's quite clear that Arthur Abraham struggles immensely against movers, guys who have the ability and skill to move around the ring and keep away from him and come in with flurries to pick up the points. If you're not concerned with stopping Arthur Abraham and you just focus purely on moving around the ring, making him and then using pockets of aggression to stop him from coming forward too much, then you have the blueprint of how to beat him. So Arthur Abraham, I was really thinking after the Carl Froch fight, where does he go from here? Because even Carl Froch found himself in that fight. And I'll say this now, Carl Froch was also probably going a similar way, I think, to Arthur Abraham, in that he was unable to change his game plan, and he had a fighting style that somebody with a brain could come in and would know exactly what to do to beat him. It was only a matter of time, and I hold to that. But Carl Froch looked at what Andre Dirrell did in his fight against Arthur Abraham, and he came in and he used a game plan. Normally, Carl Froch is a type of person who just likes to trade, likes to just trade punches, go all out, gung ho. He didn't do that. He did exactly what he should have done. He stayed on the outside and he came in with flurries. That's how he beat Arthur Abraham on points. Since then, Arthur Abraham, he fought Stepan Bozic, which really means nothing. Bozic hurt his elbow in the early rounds and the fight was stopped. Bozic didn't really give anything for Abraham to learn from going into his fight with Andre Ward. Andre Ward, on the other hand, did do something, I feel, that can help him with this fight. He fought Sakio Bika, and that was a very rough fight, and Andre Ward went in and basically beat a rough, tough guy on the inside at his own game. and he showed everybody he can basically he can fight with multiple styles, and he can use multiple game plans as and when he feels like it. Moving on to Andre Ward, coming into this competition, I didn't really know that much about him at all, and so wasn't really looking either way. I was just waiting to see what he did and what he showed. For me, he's given no complaints. He hasn't complained about anything at all. He's just got on with the tournament. People have dropped out. He hasn't bothered with that. He's kept on winning. He's beaten whoever comes in front of him. And he's proved that he can fight multiple styles, as I've said. He's a chameleon. You don't know what you're going to get basically going in with him. I think he's a nightmare if you're trying to watch videos of him, because whatever you do to counteract one style, he can just change it up. Or he can start with a different thing altogether. And he has a boxing brain. For me, he's my personal favourite for this Super 6 tournament now. And I think it'll take some very good performance to beat him. I think Arthur Abraham's best chance now for this fight is he needs to really come forward, relentlessly putting pressure on Andre Ward and try and get to him and use his power to get the knockout. Arthur Abraham is the type of guy who was a predator he preyed on knockouts for most of his career up until a couple of fights ago, and he put fear into his opponents, and he was basically winning fights by knockout. I think that now he has to think about how he's going to win these fights by decision, and I can't see with his style, his high guard, which prevents him from shooting quick counters, prevents him from fighting quick. He hasn't got the quickest hands. That is really a disadvantage for him going into these further fights now, to pick up those points to win these decisions. And unless he gets that shot to knock somebody out, which could happen, but it's a long shot, isn't it? You can't go relying on just knockouts for the whole of your career, and I think he's suffering from that now, Arthur Abraham. So like I say, I think his best chance is to constantly pressure Andre Ward in this one, and he needs to really to look for that to really hurt Andre Ward. But on the other side, he's up against a guy who can fight inside. He's up against a guy who can take pressure, and he can be a complete nuisance, and he can just turn your strengths into weaknesses. So I see even if Abraham comes in with Andre Ward, he can just use those inside tactics to gain the upper hand, and Andre Ward can just make it impossible for him, really. Andre Ward will probably try and use the same game plan of fighting from the outside, coming in with quick flurries, getting those points. I don't think he should be concerned with knocking Arthur Abraham out. I think he just stays away from him. But then you don't know, because against Beaker, that probably should have been his plan, to just outbox Beaker. But he went inside and he showed everybody he can do the same thing as his opponent, only better. So, we'll see what Andre Ward brings to the table. But one thing I am predicting in this one, and the only way I see it going really, is Andre Ward by a wide decision. And I think he will frustrate Abraham, because I don't see what Abraham can bring to the table here with the speed he has, and the defense he has, and the setup and style that he has. I don't see what he can bring out of that to basically get enough points in this fight. The only chance I think he has is by knockout, and I can't see it happen against a fight like Andre Ward, who has shown that he has the ability and the brains together to stay away from that type of trouble. So that's my prediction. I'm going for Andre Ward by wide decision. Let's hope for a great fight. And this is BoxPred. I'm out.